name is Gong, and I am a certified peak performance coach and the CEO of Vietnam Coaching Institute. And I'm very happy to be program director for I Am the Life Coach program in Vietnam. Today, I'm really happy to be here with you to share with you the 7 steps to enroll the client, what we call the success enrollment strategy. And this strategy is not from me, it's from my training school, and this is very unique to us, and it's come from our training before with my teacher, Dr. Bronze. So I'm happy to share with you today. What we will cover today is success, the 2 things. The first thing is success enrollment client strategy, which is the 7 steps to successful enroll your client. And this strategy alone is not enough for us to get the client, because fear might step in. Then we once we know that, we come with the proper way to attack it. Here we are building the business, not the coaching practice. So we have to enroll the people to our coaching business, and it comes to the underlying belief we may hold about ourselves as a coach or the benefit of, and then we come with to the 6 core beliefs that have the coach to success. So are we ready to make a start now? 2 things: success enrollment and the belief of the coach. Hello? Hello?
Yes.
Hello.
Hello? Everybody still hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, because I found some echo. So the first thing is the first thing I'd like to talk about is the underlying belief, what I call the core belief that have us to success as a coach. There are 6 core beliefs. The first one of the belief is that the first priority of all of our coaching is all about the actions. For example, our sample sessions, whether we call our sample sections or free sections or a complementary coaching session to enroll the client, should be designed to motivate our client to take action. Even if our client will not hire us, we ourselves as a coach try to leave them feel good and make something change for their life, and they start doing something differently than they have before. That is our aim as a coach, is to start our first section, whether it is free, is to give some benefit to our client. And then from that belief, we're having people show up in our sample sessions, and we come with the agenda. Like we don't come with like our coaching practice, just like what would you like to be coached on today. This is come from our coaching practice, just to hone our skill, to develop our coaching skill. But with the free coaching session or sample session, we send the email first to our clients, just ask the 3 questions, so that a client must come up with an agenda. The 3 questions might be, what are the 3 big goals that you want to achieve? And the second question will be, what held you back? And the third question is, what is the biggest challenge? So when we move into the coaching session with the client, we already know that what goal the client is working on. So once we know the client's goal, and we can help them to a little bit achieve a goal. This is the first thing about the core belief, is that they ask our client to make something different than they do before. Are you all following with that?
Yes.
So that any things come up with the first core belief that I just shared? Anyone would like to share about the things that I just discussed. Hello? Hello? Hi, Ben.
Chong, most of them are on mute,
Hello.
so that's why they will not be able to reply to you. So
Ah,
maybe
I see.
you can leave the question and answer after your presentation.
Okay, okay.
And do you have a PowerPoint screen that you're showing us?
I don't have the PowerPoint
Okay,
screen, and
okay.
I will find that I will.
In that case, I'll turn off the screen then.
Yes, right.
Sure, thank you. You can move on forward.
Okay, okay. So the second belief is that to get a coach is the very best thing uh, that they can do for themselves. That there's nothing to do with hiring a coach itself. It's not about a coach. It's about our client. It's about the moment they make the decision and commitment to themselves. That's that's the amazing thing happen. It's all about the moment the client make commitment for themselves and the change start to ignite. And the third, then this move to the third core belief is that nobody can help the client than you are. Can you follow me? And you might not believe it, but once you are coaching the client, you are the only one people show up to the client at this moment. No one can help him at this time. When you're doing the sample session with them, you are really having help them now. And once I do the sample session with client, I feel like I'm here to help them, and I really need people to sign up for coaching because coaching works. And once I'm say from bottom of the heart, and they will enroll for the coaching. I believe in coaching so much, and there is a little to do with me as a person. It's about the conversation, the coaching conversation with them. Even sometimes we stop and we are not feeling about how good we are as a coach, but coaching still works. And and the only thing we are as a coach need to keep up is to keep people highly motivated, and you must enthusiastic to be there to have them as a coach. And the fourth thing is only the good can come from our coaching. Nothing bad can come about it, because here we offer them the possibility to see where they are as compared to where they want to be. Even if they do not hire us, there's nothing bad. We can move on to the next client. It's just the name it's just the name of the number. The more we do our free coaching session to the client, the more chance we get the client. And the and number five, corporately, is that our desire is really want to help the client. I mean to help people. I like the fact of coaching people making good money with the desire to help people. We do not coach for free, because if we coach them for free, it's just like we have a hobby, not a coaching business. And how long we keep doing our hobby without making a living, right? So we come to the client with desire to have and make a good money. When we uh, when we need to show up available and have people, even if when we coach client in a free session, we're not guaranteed to get guarantee that 100% of our free session will turn into our paying client. This is but we need to do that. If you don't sell your coaching business, your coaching, and you don't get the business, you just get the hobby. And the last core belief that I think that I think that benefit me is that My coaching service is well priced and come with great value to client. And once I believe that I'm more able to sell the service because I have track record to see people change in their life. So settings of coaching business, the website that truly reflect about us, about me, and the coaching service for some of the people, they may charge 500 US dollar per month for the executive. But if they believe it, they have no pressure to sell the service. It takes off the pressure. So once we believe in our service and we think that we have a good price, so we don't have hesitation to sell a service. So that's all the six core beliefs that I think benefits to me. And you yourself don't need to agree with those six beliefs. I just want you to reflect this and feel what is right for you. And you check on yourself what the belief in yourself that might hold you back to get the client that you really want. So we stop for a while to just discuss the six copy. So we have a discussion around that before we move to the main part, the 7 step to enroll the client. Hi Ben, can you keep the discussion open before we move to the next part?
Sure, I already unmute the people. You can have a open question with the audience.
Hello everybody. Hello. If you hear me, just say hello. So
Hello.
yeah, I just covered the six core belief, and I just want you to give a feedback whether this belief sounds resonant for you, or you may have the other belief that you think might be useful for the other coach. Someone want to say?
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello. Yeah, Jay Lanka.
Can you move ahead?
Jay Lanka.
Hi, can you say again that there are a little background noise that I can't hear you well?
Con Jay Lanka. Yeah.
Okay, Jaya, I'm so sorry that your signal is rather weak and your voice is breaking up. So I think another way you can do is to pose it as a question so that Chong can answer your questions. Okay, anyone else have
Okay.
any questions for Chong regarding the six belief? If not, then I think Chong will move forward with the presentation.
Yes, right.
Uh,
If there's no question, sorry, someone want to say?
no, I think Chong, there's no one. I think you can move forward.
Okay. So this is the main things that I could like to share today is about the client enrollment strategy. And this is very unique, and I think very useful for me and some of the other new coach that I applied. Uh, we, we have developed a unique brain-based approach to client enrollment that once embraced and mastered by some of the life coach will awaken a new area in client enrollment. And the intention of the client enrollment strategy is to provide you with the broader understanding of the prospect's needs when considering hiring a coach. And we ourselves, most coaches, are not interested in selling their prospect on anything. However, with me, to be honest, if you are not actively selling your coaching program, you will not have a business. You will merely have just a hobby. And once you get to know the strategy, you will see how easily you can pick up on the 7 parts that I'm going to share today. You don't have to memorize the enrollment strategy word for word, but I want you to know that even if you choose to memorize this word for word, it is so effective that it will blow your mind. Believe me, it's so powerful. And before you perform this strategy with a client, it is best to prepare. Practice makes perfect. Then ensure that you know something about the client and what his or her goals are before enter into our sample section, or you call the free section. You know why? The more that you know about the goal or dream that you are coaching the person on, the better you will prepare with the right question to ask. So can you do this easily by send email, then ask the 3 questions that I just mentioned on the core belief. The first question: name 3 big goals, dream or desires that you have always wanted to achieve. The second will be: name the biggest challenge that held you back from achieving each of 3 goals. And the third one: if you could achieve any one of these 3 goals within 6 months, which one could it be? And the next, within the email that you send the client before our free section, you include the 3 things. First, the short description of what coaching is and what coaching is not. And the second, the cost of your coaching package. And the third one, any information that you believe will be helpful for your client to receive. And the purpose of our sample section is to provide the value to our prospects. The sample section is to have the 3 purposes. The first one is to have the individuals to begin to create change, to begin to take action that will help them long term. And the second is to awaken and bring clarity to what is going on below the surface. Your prospects will begin to understand what they really want and begin to know what's in the way. And the third one, along the way, explains some key coaching point by showing the prospect a glimpse of the future. Okay, now I don't want to put you wait for too long. Let's jump in and examine the 7 parts of the enrollment strategy. The part 1, make the connection. And the object of this part here is just to make the connection, which is basically some small talk about the client for several minutes only. Remember, just several minutes only. Don't let this too long. You don't want they tell the whole life story. We just want to gain some rapport, to make the connections, to feel comfortable with each other. And we are talking about the small talk. That was it, not that hard, right? And now let's move into the part 2, the stimulate the desire. Let's say we are going to coach someone who wants to grow his small business. Watch how easily this is. We could ask our client question like, where could you like your business to be? You could also use the word ideally. You could make this question templified by saying, where would you like your business to be in the next 6 months? or make it time defined by a year or however you feel works best. Your client will give you an answer. Write down. Remember, write down so we will use later on in next part. Then, as a further example, say, okay, excellent. And how much revenue will your business be generating 6 months from now? Your client will give you an answer. Remember, write down because we will use it again. Again, what you are aiming to do is to stimulate your prospect desire for what it is that they are wanting. So continue by saying, if you could wave a magic wand that was capable of bringing about all the things realistic, where could you want your business to be in the next 6 months? The goal has to be realistic, attainable, and to be able to be defined by a timeline. So realistic. Now, from a sales point of view, you want to have the client's goal in front of him or her as clear as you want. Define it, repeat it out loud, put it in frame for the client because these are what you are going to coach them on when they purchase your service. What are your clients buying when they are buying coaching? Can you please tell me? Okay? They're not just buy a coach, they're buying their dreams, the goals, or objectives. They are buying your assistant in reaching days. And our job as a coach is to stimulate the individual desire to reach the goal so that we can set them on the possibility of achieving it. It's just like saying, I am a mechanic. Let me get into your car and work on it with you. Does that make sense? That's the sales side. Then from the coaching side, we want to have our prospect to get the clarity around what it is that they want most, and then to begin to create some goals. And none of this is rocket science. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. This is where it gets a little more sophisticated. You still get very simple and very powerful. And now we move into the part 3. Increase the emotion connection to the desire. In part 2, we already know what their goal are, the desire. Now in part 3, we increase the emotion connection with that goal. You may ask questions like this: what will change in your life when you reach this goal? What impact could reaching this goal have on other aspects of your life? What could be the best part of having you one? Who else will be affected by you reaching this goal? Then you will be saying something like this: I want you to go ahead and imagine yourself there right now. It's 6 months in the future, and you already achieved this goal. I want you to notice how achieving these goals feel like in your body. Do you notice enthusiasm or excitement? Where your body is that the feeling coming from? Identify where the feeling is coming from. Is it the stomach, the heart? The circuit here, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter where they are feeling this reaction. It is important that they're feeling something within the body that they can relate to the desire to. And ask about the area and get a full response regarding to the feelings related to having met their goal. And from this point, the motivation of our client is stronger. And this moves us into part 4, the uncover the blocks and the barriers. And and this part you will want to explore any fears or blocks. Just talking about the blocks and barriers usually begins to motivate the client even more to find answers. Here you can do to choose to explore the excuse, the procrastination that the client uh, that hold the client back, or the being the perfectionist. You can also ask something like this, for example: what else do you think is stopping you? Explore if there is self-judgment present or anything else that you can notice. Then you can ask, what other challenge might be holding you back? Then move through the discussion. At this time, ask your prospect for one forward step to reaching is his or her goal. If they cannot think of the first natural step, offer the brainstorming session with them. Define one forward action to be taken. Write it down and read it back to your client, then ask, on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being least likely that you will complete this action, and 10 being the most likely that you will complete this action, where do you rate your scale of commitment? And remember, we are looking for an 8, 9, or 10. If your client cannot commit to this level, then we ask, what will it take to bring your commitment level up to a level 8, 9, or 10? Then shut up. Let silence do its work. And if the client still cannot commit to an 8, 9, or 10, we will find another alternative way to move through the commitment level once again. This one step is your opportunity to call your prospect to follow up next week if he or she does not choose to become a client during the enrollment strategy. And this moves us into part 5, increase the emotion connections to pain. This is where we begin to discuss how all of the challenges are affecting the client, how the experience of the challenge have made them feel. You want to clearly define all of the unhappy feelings that come from being able to overcome the challenge necessary to reach their goals and desire. You want the feeling to be brought forward as strongly as possible. We can assume that the client has beaten him or herself many times about not reaching the goal that they really want to achieve. We want to bring forward the strong desire to change this feeling, to overcome the challenge so that the client is motivated to move forward. After all, as I told you earlier, when a client is very motivated to move into change and they are willing to pay money to get out of the pain and into pleasure of achieving their goals. And the reason we are doing this is to move the client into action, immediate action. Becomes the number one priority. If someone is in enough pain, they're going to do something about it, even though it might not seem like such a nice thing to do. It's ultimately very, very important. You need to understand that there are really only 2 reasons that people have for doing anything. Is the first reason is to obtain pleasure, and the second reason is to avoid pain. You want to stimulate the pleasure and stir up the pain at that. And there's some question you may have this, but we move to the next before I complete the part 7. Now this moves us into the part 7, the turnaround. And at this point, we want to acknowledge that all of these things that the client is experiencing as normal. We all experience this feeling and problems with one thing or another. This is called normalizing. They are sounds of reassurance. This is where I could say something like this, and this is very powerful phrase that you might need to remember. We say to our clients like that: all the challenges are very common and they are very solvable. In fact, I work with dozens and dozens of people who have a similar challenge and overcome them. And I'm certain if you and I will work together, we could overcome them too and have you achieve your goal. Does that sound good? The selling point is that it also helps the client see you as someone who can assist in overcoming their challenge and that you are an expert at helping people solve these problems. Telling them these challenges are very common, they're solvable, and that you have many other people with these over time. It's just like saying you are an expert. Of course, it's just like, oh, I'm an expert, and of course, I'm very familiar with this thing. And this comes to the last part, the part 7, and the offer. So this is the opportunity to ask your prospect found most valuable. So this is the opportunity to ask what the prospect found most valuable. The reason you do this is to establish that whereas coaching, this is a good stuff, And that coaching time was valuable to the client. By asking this question, it establishes value and may establish reciprocation and might make the prospect feel like he or she wants to give back to you. I don't know. Then the next part is that you're saying something like this: Tom, I have a program designed specifically to help the people like you who are in your situation and want to overcome exactly the same kind of the challenge you are facing and achieve the results you are looking for. Would you like to hear about it? Okay, that is called zero pressure. Not moving into right into coaching, not assuming the sales or anything. It's just saying like, just saying that I think I have something he or she wants and asking if they would like to hear about it. Explain your coaching service and ask your prospect, are you ready and able to sign up for coaching and to begin next week? Then shut up. And the shut up time here is very important. We are silent for 10 or 15 seconds. And that's we just cover the 7 parts of the client enrollment strategy. And Ben, please, can you please open discussion? I feel like I'm just talking to the computer.
Okay, it's on now.
Kong, this is Clement.
Oh, hi, Clement.
Yes, thank you for the sharing.
How, thanks, Clement.
Yes, I have a question for you.
Yep, please.
In your third step and the fifth steps, you
Yep.
spoke about the emotional connection.
Yes, right.
Have you faced any challenges when you went too deep and it stirred up some of the past issues that surfaced?
I'm sorry, Clement.
Have you encountered challenges where you stir up the emotions of the client, where we may need to refer he or she to a counselor to solve past issues before we move forward?
Uh, in in my experience with the client, I haven't met any client that they have oh background noise. I haven't met any of my clients that have the really bad emotion that I have to refer them to the counseling section. It's normally in the part 3 and part 5. Part 3, the increase the emotion connection to a design, and the part 5 it increase the emotion connection to pain. With the main purpose is just to trigger our client that they really need to make some change on for their life. That's the thing. The case you mentioned at an error.
Thank you, Kong.
Yep. Does that answer your question, Clement?
The reason why I'm asking is that if we, I feel that if we don't balance that properly, potentially the client may have some past unsolved, unfinished business that we may end up need to refer him to a counselor.
Yeah. In your did you find any case that you work with your clients then and can have some challenge with your client about the emotion area like this?
Recently, I have met up with a client. I actually also using both cognitive and emotional connection.
Yes.
When I work on the emotional connection, I discovered that the client has some deep issues. Since as she shared, she talked about some teenage issues that has shaped some of her behavior that actually prohibits her to move forward. Yes, so I have to work on the counseling aspect first, then after that move on to the coaching.
So how does that work for this client, Clement?
Oh, it works fine. It works fine. She's actually moving forward after um, gain more um, stability and more aware of the previous issues, and she actually managed to have a closure, and now she's actually moving forward um, with options that she actually came up with.
And so it means that you do some part of counseling and coaching with that client.
Yes, with my counseling background.
Yeah. So, but in my case, recently I just have one client that she come to the coaching session. She feels very sad because she want to divorce with his husband, and have very bad emotion. And to me at that point of time, I just provide a space for her to vent the emotion. I don't do anything, just give ask her the question for her emotion to vent, so that once she get back on stability, I do coaching, because counseling is not my professional. You know. That is my case. But you know, the great thing is somehow I'm very attracted with the lady who's got the problem with the husband. I don't know how.
Thank you for your frank sharing.
Yeah, my client is sometimes message me, hey Cole, I want to divorce. How you coach me? And say, not my specialty. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing, Kong.
Yeah. So, is there any question, Clement or other people? Hello.
Hello.
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Mr. Kwon, can I have a question?
Yes, please. What's your name, sir?
My name is Tuấn.
Tuấn hả? Trời ơi.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you told that we should encourage the client to take action. What happened if the action have a bad result and the client blame us just because of our coaching? What should we do then?
Okay. Your question, Mr. Tuấn, your question is that our coaching session is to inspire the client to take the action, and if
Yes.
the clients take action, then they fail, they come back and blame us. Is that your question?
They take
Yes, right?
action and the action had a bad result. It's
Yes.
something not good with the client, and the client will come back and tell us because of our coaching, so they have to adjust.
The thing is that the clients take action, because as a coach, we don't make decisions for our clients, and we have our clients come up with their own answer, their actions plan, right? So from the coaching principle, we have mentioned is that our client is responsible for the results they are generating, and we as a coach, during our coaching conversation, we have our client bring any problem, any challenge on the table, so they gain clarity on what they are now, as opposed to where they want to go, and make the decision to take action. And the action must come from our client decision, and then at this point they won't come back and blame us as a result of our coaching session. I take the action and I get bad result. There's no, because the action is come from their decision. Is that clear, Mr. Ton?
Yes. But do you think that sometimes in coaching we don't tell the client to take action, but we inspire and we motivate them in some way?
So can you reframe your question?
Yeah, I think that's enough. Thank you very much, Kong.
Okay, so we could talk more on the Skype for any question that you may have.
Yes.
Individually, Mr. Ton. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Yep. So is there any question from the other? I just want to hear some more. Hello. Is there any question that we could discuss about the seven part of the enrollment client strategy, or the 6 core belief that we just covered?
Can I have another question?
Yes, please go ahead, Mr. Ton.
Mr. Kong, is that a good idea to get a friend who is a friend to be a client, or I mean between a friend and between a person who don't know us, anyone don't know us, which one is better?
And you mean to hire a coach from a
Yes.
friend or from the absolute the people who don't know about us?
I mean that when we target the client,
Client.
is that idea, is that good idea if we target someone who doesn't know us at all, or should we target some friend who know us?
From my experience is we start with our friends. We start with our friends, because
But yeah,
when
yes,
we just start, we may get a little nervous, and we work with the people we feel comfortable, and we work out things. Then we start to make some results, and we we are confident in the coaching process, and from our friends they start to give the referral for us, so it's very easy, it's much more easier.
but do you think that if someone they know us well, they may tell us we are not qualified because they know us too much, they know our weak point, and they so it's sometimes it's difficult.
Yeah, it's about the the level of the confidence. It's about the level of our confidence as a coach, and
Yes.
as I just mentioned, it's not about how good we are as a coach.
Yes.
It's about the meaningful coaching conversation that will help our clients. Let's say is that even if our client just spend their time 1 hour a week,
Yes.
sit in the room, just work out the plan, the action itself is bring the result enough, and they will get more result when they have someone else from the outside perspective to help them with gain the clarity from from to gain the clarity who they are, what's the goal are, and what they want to be in the futures. What I'm trying to explain is the commitment from our client to work with us. That's count. It's not how good you are as a coach. At the point our client make a commitment to set a time frame, like work with you for a week, 1 hour, and that decision itself will move our client forward, right? That's the point.
Yes,
And we
thank
with
you.
the coaching skill will add more to our plan.
Okay.
Thank
So
you for
are there any
sharing.
questions? Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
Kong. Jaya has a question for you. He says that what if the clients refuse to continue? Okay, Jaya, I have unmute you. You would like to clarify your question?
Chaya.
Okay, Jaya seems to be offline right now, so we just ignore this question. Itipa has a question for you. Itipa would like you to repeat the 7 step again.
I repeat the 7 step. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. I will send all of you. I will give Ben the presentation and send all of
Sure.
you,
Thank
so you
you.
easy to follow. The reason I don't want to send before our webinar is I just want to make something like excitement, because you don't know what you gonna get within the yeah.
Thank
Let me just recap the 7 part. The part one is to make a connection, what we call a small talk, just to build some rapport. And the part two is stimulate the desire. We ask the clients about the goal and stimulate their desire, the desire to their goal. And the part three, we increase the emotional connection to the desire. And part four, uncover the blocks, the barrier, the challenge why the client didn't get what they want now. And the part five, again, we increase emotion linked to pain. And the part six, the turnaround. We acknowledge that uh, the challenge they have are very common. And we, as a coach, we have many clients with that challenge and achieve the results. And it's come to the final part, the offer. We explain our coaching package. That's the 7 part.
Thank you, Kong, very much. Now, is there anyone else who have any questions for Kong? Okay, we'll do a roll call. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If not, thank you. Kong, do you have anything
Yeah,
that you want to add on? Anything? Any last word for every one of us here before we end off the webinar?
yeah. So uh, this my side, I feel like this strategy is really work, and I will share with all of you the this strategy, and you from your side you just practice exactly in this strategy, and it's easy to get a client. And that's the last thing I want to share. And the next webinar, I will have something sexier for all of us. I design out I designed this webinar like the I thought that people can discuss, so I have many questions during our presentation, but actually someone on mute, so that it's feel like I'm talking to some of my computer along in the room, you know.
Thank
So
you,
next,
Kong.
okay,
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 thank
man.
you. Now, Kong, we really enjoy your session very much. I think the information you share is very valuable. And I think the good news for us here who have attended the webinar today is that I think this is something that we can be very sure of. That is, professional coaching is here to stay. Okay, it's just starting, and I think it's just hitting on into the trend. I mean, the trend is just picking up in Asia. I wouldn't even say that it's picking up. It's just beginning to. We are just beginning to feel the presence of professional coaching, and I'm sure in the next coming years, okay, it is going to be something big. I mean, just imagine those
Yes.
days where we have a pager. We are so happy with the pager, and then when we first introduced the mobile, remember in the early days, the big black mobile that was very big, heavy one. We were all laughing
Yeah.
and said, "Oh, nobody would like to carry that heavy things." And yeah, I mean, but gradually, you
Yeah.
know what happens? No, look around. Nobody is carrying pager, and the mobile
Yeah.
has evolved into something trendy and something that everybody needed. So
Yeah.
I think the
I,
same thing will happen here in terms of professional coaching. Now it has been established in the Western world, in America, in Europe, and in Australia. And I think the trend is going to hit Asia and it's going to stay. So that is the
yeah.
good news.
Yeah. Thanks,
Carl?
Ben, for yeah. Thanks for motivation talk. I feel like the same in Vietnam, Ben,
Yes.
because there are more organization approach to us to desire coaching program for their management their management team, because
Uh-huh.
the coaching skill is one of the core competencies that any manager must have in
Yes.
the corporate. Yeah.
Thank you
So
for
that's
affirming
it's
that. And
amazing.
I'm sure professional coaching is here to stay and it's just only making its entry. So we must be ready. And the unfortunate thing, the
Yeah.
unfortunate thing is that most professional coaches doesn't is not a salesman. Let's face it. Okay. And we just have to face the fact that no, most coaching academy doesn't train us to be a salesman, which is good. We are trained to do our stuff, to be the excellent in terms of the coaching process. But as Kong has rightly said, that if you don't learn the skill, if you don't learn the skill of selling, this is just a passion, this is just a hobby. So in order to turn that passions and hobby into a business platform, you have to acquire certain skills, sales techniques. So I think this webinar has been very helpful, as it gives us some basic framework of how you can proceed ahead to sell. Now, one of the greatest challenge that I find that most coaches who doesn't like to sell is that they cannot separate these two difference. They cannot separate their identity and the service. They assume the
Mm,
service as in it is about them. But if you keep
yeah.
on thinking in that aspect, then you find it very difficult to sell your coaching services because you are so shy to sell yourself. Okay, so we need to separate
Yes.
that. We are not selling ourselves, we are helping people to get the result. Your selling point is supposed to be focused on the result the clients get as a result of the service that you are providing. So as long as you focus on the result, I'm here to help you to gain clarity. I'm here for you to gain a better perspective of what is happening with you. I'm here to be a third person perspective to help you to see a bigger picture of what needs to be done. I'm here to challenge you. I'm here to take you one step forward. As long as you focus on the result, you find it so much easier to just get your clients to believe in the coaching process. Now, remember, they are supposed to believe in the coaching process. Whether they believe in you or not, we do not want to discuss that issue, but we want them to focus on the result. Just like when you go and see a doctor, you're not, I mean, of course you went to see a doctor because of the person, but you're seeing a doctor because of the knowledge that he has and the result that you get from seeing the doctor. So the same thing applied here. As long as we can focus on helping the clients to see the result, it will be much easier to engage people into the coaching services. Now, having said that, if this still doesn't work for you and you've already want to turn your passion into a business, the most easier way to do it is to find a marketing partner for you. So you just focus, you just focus on doing your coaching and get somebody else to market for you. So that's all I'm going to say for today, and I hope it has been a very enriching session for all of us. And thank you, Kong, for taking the time.
Yeah.
And by the way, Kong is from Vietnam. He's the CEO for the Vietnam Coaching Institute, and we are very excited about what is happening right now in Vietnam, because I think we had a vision of already establishing an ICF Vietnam, in at least by end of 2014, and that is a very ambitious goal. But I think together with our partnership with I Am a Life Coach Academy, and together with Kong's Vietnam Coaching Institute, and with Clarice, who just recently joined us, I'm sure we are able to realize that vision. So thank you once again for joining us, and we will keep you updated again on the August webinar. We hope to really get in something that is as practical and relevant for all of you. Okay, so see you guys. We will post the once the webinar is ready, we will upload that into our website. You can find at www.iamlifecoach.asia, and you can download. You can have a preview of this webinar again and review the 7 steps that Kong has just mentioned. Okay, thank you. Have a great evening. See you guys. Bye.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye bye,
Bye.
guys. Thank you for joining us.
Bye. Thank you for
Thanks,
joining
guys.
us.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you.